There we are back again, Dan. I get excited doing this with you, man. I enjoy this.
Jeez, my wife doesn't even say nice things like that to me.
Oh, well, do you want to restart? Do you want to do this over?
I'm just kidding. She says nicer things than that, but no, I agree.
Grab the vacuum, Dan. There's a sink full of dishes. Let's go. Does that make you more homesick? I don't know.
No, she never ever does that. Absolutely, she never does that. No. I couldn't agree with you. I look forward to doing this too, buddy.
The cool part about this is, and I love what we do on Mondays because those three that I get the time and I've been honored to speak to over the years. We've learned so much. We've shared so much. But this live that we do on Wednesdays, it sort of gets back to the grassroots of some of the events. And I know the others like Jim and Jay, especially, we talk about events that are happening within our community, but this actually gets to talk to those who are involved that are putting these things on and hosting them. And I will say this, we owe a big one to OWA for how they helped us with the Made in Canada tackle show. They certainly pumped our tires and promoted the heck out of it. We're going to publicly thank Kat here in a second, but she put a video together. She didn't have to do it, but she put a video together, and Dan, it was amazing. By showtime, I think it had like 15,000 views. So
wow.
It's amazing when you get that kind of support. I can't thank them enough, but we will in a sec. Jim Fowler, nice to see you this evening. Oh, Merritt, is she going to give us saying get a break? She gets a break from it. That's awesome.
She needs a break right now. We're both fighting a cold. I'm on the tail end. She's just starting it. So
oh no.
Yeah, so she deserves a break, but I'm not going to bust her balls tonight. Let's put it that way.
Right on, Mara. Well, hopefully you're feeling better, girl. Darwin's in the house. How you doing, Darwin? Nice to see you. Randy, yeah, baby. How you doing, my son? Nice to see you. And Tony, always a pleasure, my friend. Nice to see you as well.
Always.
Well, as I said, Dan, we have lots of announcements upcoming in regards to the NCAA tournament that's happening. Lots of really exciting stuff that we're going to be announcing in the coming days, weeks, and months leading up to it. Is there anything you wanted to mention tonight before we brought on the ladies?
I just got to say is all of our hard work coming to this is starting to finally all fall into that pail the way we wanted it to. So I'm very excited about everything coming up, and the response we're getting from people is, unfortunately, shame on us. We haven't gotten out there. We haven't gotten it out there in the best way as possible. We've tried. We're picking that up, but people are hearing about it. People are excited about it. So I'm very happy about that. And also, I'm very excited about our guests because one of the things the last couple of weeks, we've been talking to a lot of different people, getting a little different feel for different tournaments and different structures. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Oh, I never even thought of that. Yeah, you're right. So you got a notepad and a pen already?
I'm all ready to go.
Oh, that's awesome. Right on. Well, as I said, without further ado, and of course, they need no introduction. These two are very prevalent in social media when it comes to female anglers. And of course, they are both members of the Ontario Women Anglers. And I believe Alicia is a member of the GCFA as well, longtime member of Great Canadian Female Anglers. It's great to have the female aspect and content here at CFN or anywhere in an angling realm. Because for so long, it has been difficult for them to sort of enter in without feeling like an outsider or not feeling welcomed. And I will have to say, I think they're way past that now. In fact, I almost feel intimidated when I'm around them. So it's all good. But with that, they have a great event that's coming up this weekend that we wanted to make sure that we talked about, and I couldn't think of two better people to bring on to talk about it. But before we introduce them, let's look back at last year's event at the same place.
And I'm too sexy for my hat, too sexy for my hat. What you think about that? I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk, on the catwalk, yeah, I shake my little touch on the catwalk.
Okay, that doesn't look like any fun at all.
so boring.
Looks very, very boring. And if things don't work out as a bass angler, tournament angler, I think you've got a career waiting for you in weather reporting, Alicia. You did fantastic. I don't even know what you said, but it just looked good.
I said there was a 30% chance it's already raining.
Yes, exactly.
It's awesome. Well, Dan, I don't need to introduce them to myself, but I will introduce you to Alicia Raytrowsky and, of course, Catherine Cat Bodden. These two are, I want to say, bookends in the female angling community. They have done so much to further female angling as it is, as a whole. And I'll tell you, with the number of events that OWA is involved with, it truly makes your head spin. And this is just one of many events that they have during the year that we're really excited to talk about tonight. So welcome, Alicia and Kat.
Yes, welcome very much.
Thank you. That's great.
So first and foremost, this is the event. It's happening this weekend on the Thames. Is it a two? Yeah, it is a 2-day event.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about sort of the footprint, if you will, of the event itself, maybe what it represents, and we'll go from there.
Okay. What ended up happening is when we brought this on is this is now our third year for this event. And what it was is it just happened with conversation with Alicia, and with some of the other ladies that have got involved in channel catfishing up in their area. I myself have caught channel cats, but not that size when I was younger and things as such. So I went out with Alicia and a couple of her friends and everything, and tried it out myself. And then I brought it to Yvonne and to see whether or not we could do a channel cat event. And it helped a lot with me having Alicia, saying yes and agreeing to team up. There's myself and Alicia, and actually we've had up to 5 ladies all together that have actually worked as a group of volunteers to make it run. So as I said, it was just a matter of having to be introduced, because catfishing, I'm an avid carper. As most people know, I'm Cat the Carping Queen. And same type of thing with catfish as it is with carp. A lot of people sort of walk away from it or look at them as sort of the slum lords of the fishing world. But meanwhile, the carp and the catfish both are a lovely fight. They're work to get, and as I said, and it's definitely it's a trophy when you catch a big one for sure.
That's awesome. Well, before we go any further, Kat, I want to take this opportunity right now to thank you for everything that you did for us at the Made in Canada Tackle Show, that video that you put together. And I'm not sure exactly what just spawned you to do it, but the fact that you looked outside the box, and some people just have a hard time, getting out of their comfort zone. You did an absolutely fantastic job. And Brad and I can't thank you enough for what you did to do that. But I do believe that video has, even after now the show is done, is still gaining views. So thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. It was my privilege. And the reason why I did it too is just because of being on the volunteer team with Ontario Women Anglers. Wanted to put the ladies' face out there. That we were going to be there, and also definitely, it's a conversation I did have with you previously, Scottie. Is I thank you to you gentlemen for everybody that put that event on. I'm very, very much pro an individual of sticking in with your locals, and it was great. It was great to see the turnout, and I definitely supported that. So yeah, it was no problem. As I said, it only took about half a dozen times or so. And let me tell you, because the person that was doing the videoing, I thought she was going to pee her pants. She was laughing so hard at some of the things that came out of my mouth. So yeah, but you're more than welcome.
Do you have any of the outtakes that we?
Oh yes, I do. And no, you're not getting them. No way. Those will be either on my day of my wedding or the day of my funeral, right? So
go ahead, Dan.
Oh, I was just going to say we'll try and make some new outtakes tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much.
So, Alicia, obviously you come. Well, you're a multi-species angler, but I think you come more from a bass background. When it comes to catfishing, I know it's something that you've done and you have a passion for. But what about this event that you truly get inspired and look forward to every year?
Just taking the ladies out, showing them how to catch catfish, and then them catching catfish and getting excited about it. Even just watching them fishing and socializing that's just a reward in itself.
And really, like when you see these pictures of some of the events, from yesteryear, you get a real sense that there is a great collection of your community that attends all of these events. That it's not like 5 or 6 people, that you have 20 plus that show up to almost every single event. So obviously your passion and excitement is shared amongst your group, but as I said, you guys do fantastic work, and we're just so thankful to have folks out there doing this to basically engage people that might not necessarily know anything about catfishing, never mind, but fishing in general. So both you and Kat go to this event as volunteers, and then from there, I'm going to assume that both of you are helping instruct as well as helping land and measure and properly release these fish.
Yes, that's right. We do. We actually bring a carp cradle that Kat brings so that we can keep the fish wet and in a nice area rather than on the ground in the dirt, while we prepare to take pictures, and then we measure the fish. Ladies are looking for anything over, I believe it's 24 inches for a master angler. And many of the fish that we catch are usually between 27 and 34 inches. So it's pretty easy for them to catch a master angler, which is nice.
Now, at last year's event, Kat, if I'm not mistaken, you had quite a few of your OWA members get that master angler status with these catfish.
Yeah, there was, like last year, everybody but one individual did all receive master angler pins. And I mean, and yeah, they're pretty excited. And I think the biggest thing is too, is that, I mean, and with what you said earlier as well, the one great thing is about having these groups of ladies get together. And it's been one of the reasons why I've been with OWA for as long as I have been, is it's because, yeah, it's about the fishing, yes, but it's also getting a bunch of ladies together, and we have a blast. Like, I mean, it's not, you can be sitting there and, for 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes and not have a hit. But yeah, we're still not noticing the time or anything, just because we're enjoying each other's company. And I mean, and that's, that's a big priority with, with OWA as well. It's just the camaraderie of spirit as well. And I mean, and because that's the way we learn. Because while we're not fishing, like catching anything, it's when we're talking about, what exactly we're doing. And when we want all the ladies to feel comfortable enough to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. You know what I mean? All questions are accepted, and no faces and no rolled eyes or things like that. We just, because we've all been there, and we know, we all know that it takes a while from getting, and there's no such thing as an end to learning when it comes to fishing of any sort of angling at all.
That's awesome. So
true.
Go ahead, Dan.
So, yeah, just wondering. So, like, talk us through some of the techniques, because like that's not familiar for us. And we've all caught big catch, especially myself as a wall angler. But they're all incidental catches. When you're targeting them, like, you're using specific gear and specific techniques. I know it's very big in Europe. And are you guys similar techniques to it? And I notice it's all bank fishing. So maybe you guys can talk more about that.
Sure.
I know, like what I think the biggest thing is that what I did for the first stop, and I'll let Alicia go, because Alicia has more of the knowledge experience when it comes to the setup of the rod and reel. The one thing is that I did learn, and once again, I used Alicia's wisdom again, is the importance of making sure that you get your bait before you go. And I mean, it's because, suckers love, like we use suckers for the bait. We have to make sure that we know to catch the right suckers. And that's why while I was out fishing last week for the suckers for the bait, I'm also texting with Alicia at the same time and making sure that I'm not getting a red horse, because red horse suckers are on the special, like they're under special concern. So you want to make sure that those go back in the water. And I mean, and yeah, so it's just a matter of just, we ended up that day, I think if I remember the number right, I think we caught 17 suckers all together in about 3 or 4 hours. We put back most of them, and then we kept enough to be using for bait for the event. So the bait is very, very important in that area. They like the suckers, so that's what we use. So we had no problem with it whatsoever.
That's awesome. Alicia, with that being said, obviously you can talk about the gear, making sure, our show is sponsored by Shimano. So anything that you refer to, rods and reels, have to be. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Uh-oh.
I'm totally
Shimano needs to remain.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
No, totally kidding. But in terms of the the terminal tackle, the rods, the reels, the pound line that you should be bringing, like can you? Obviously, you instruct your ladies on what to bring, and most of them already know. But if you have some new folks that are watching this, that are actually coming to this event, give them an idea of what they need.
Yeah. So actually, the ladies are pretty lucky. We have the tackle that we provide for them, because it's very rare that someone has heavy enough tackle for these fish. But we use like extra heavy rods with anywhere from 5,000 to 6,500 reels. We spool them up with heavy braid, so anywhere between 60 and 80 pounds for the braid, and then we tie a swivel and put on a weight slider with a large weight. I don't have any of the weights with me right now, but
do you like the bell sinkers? Do you like the traditional sinkers?
We use pyramid weight. So the reason we use heavy rods is not only for the fish, but for the weights. So the weights we're using are anywhere between 2 and 6 ounces. Wow. So we have to have heavy rods, obviously, in order to cast those out. And the weight size depends on the current in the river. So if it's recently rained, we have to size up. If it's nice, calm, sunny day and it hasn't rained in a few weeks, then we go lower. But that's what we do for that. And then we tie mono leader to that with a 5 to 6 aught hook for our bait.
Octopus, I'm assuming, or circle hook?
Circle hook. Always a circle hook, because you can easily take it back out, and it always hooks them in the proper place without them swallowing it.
Makes sense. Now, obviously we've been lucky. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. So in terms of current, I think you ladies might be okay. Has anybody been out to see the venue in the recent days?
Yeah, it's looking nice and muddy. It's actually starting to clear up right now, as we haven't had rain in, I would say, 4 or 5 days. But currents are back to normal for that area, so we don't have to worry about having super large weight. So we'll probably go with 3 ounce weights for the bait. And then the baits we're going to use is cut up sucker, which is something that's also spawning in the river right now. So that's what's attracting the catfish as they move up into the river to spawn. They're eating sucker along the way. So that's an easy bait for us to use, because that's currently what they're eating.
Makes sense.
But you can use all kinds of things. You can use creek chub. You can use chicken liver. You can use shrimp. A bait that the catfish really like is shrimp with cherry jello powder on it. So if you don't have any special baits or anything like that, you can just go to the store, grab some shrimp, put some jello powder in it, and just let it sit for a little bit, and then the fish really like that.
That's cool. We have a question from Pat, who's all the way from Nunavut. I don't know how many catfish you have up in Nunavut, Pat, but she's asking, are you able to catch catfish without baits? Now, I'm going to assume it's live bait that you're talking about, Kat. Is there anything artificial that you can use to catch catfish?
There actually is. Sorry, Kat, I just took over. But
No good.
Berkeley makes a bunch of different scented baits, chicken liver and that sort of thing. It's just like a soft plastic that can go on the end of the hook. But catfish are looking for stinky baits, or even just worms. You just put a ball of worms on the end of the line and you'll definitely catch a catfish.
I couldn't hear a word you were saying there, Scottie. Sorry about that.
I thought it was just me. I was like, oh no.
You couldn't hear me either. But I'm glad it wasn't just me. So on that note, so when we talked about, well, I'm just going to go on a tangent here. So when we talked about the Master Anglers program, there's 24-inch catfish, and out there, but you see a lot more bigger. Like, what's your personal best? What do you guys have accomplished yet? And kind of give a weight to those lengths so people have a better understanding.
I know for me, my biggest one was 20. My biggest one was 28. And I mean, and I don't know what the weight was because I didn't weigh it. I just took the measurement for it. So yeah, that was my biggest one for the channel cat.
If you had to guess, the reason I'm saying that, I'm a walleye guy. When you say a 30-inch walleye, we kind of know that's anywhere from like that 11, 12, 13 pound mark. Yeah. So that's why I'm just kind of curious what that would be in a cat.
Yeah, there. The one thing is that I did notice about what the whole thing is with the catfish. They're heavy. Like, I mean, they're a dense. They're a dense fish. So I mean, it's not. I was quite surprised with even some of the smaller ones. The weight that's on them. So, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicia, what's your biggest one?
My biggest was 23.8 pounds and was 34.75. I think 34 inches, almost 35 inches long.
Now I have to ask. Do they get bigger in the Thames River than a fish that size?
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They're harder to catch, that's for sure. They're a lot smarter, and we've seen bigger ones in the Thames, so we know that they're there, but they're just harder to catch because they're a little smarter. They're a lot older, of course, than some of the smaller ones that we catch.
So noticing that picture, like I caught, like we catch him here in the Spanish, and I caught one years ago. It was about 15, 16 pounds, but it was a lot grayer. Like it was almost gray as my hat. And I remember sending a picture to Marilyn. She thought, like, would you catch a seal? Like, but I noticed like their gold. Is there different species of catfish that we just call channel cat? Is there different kinds of them basically?
They're all channel cats, but they're very color variations. So you can get gray, you can get brown, you can get. I have a friend that caught almost black. Right. It was an almost all black fish. But it depends on the fish, whether it's male or female, probably. I don't know. It also depends on where they're caught. So if they're in colder water or warmer water, that kind of thing.
Because we've all watched River Monsters. We watched Jeremy Wade catch all kinds of different kind of catfish. So that's kind of one reason why I was thinking about that.
But to your point, Alicia, like I can honestly say I've never flipped over a cat to find out if it was a male or a female. Are there any distinguishing features between a male and female catfish?
You can't ask me that question because I don't know.
Can I ask
that part? I don't know. They all look the same to me.
Me too.
I'm sure if we had Jason Barnous on here, he'd be telling us.
Well, that's the thing. Is there anything, Kat, that you can offer in terms of how to distinguish between female and male?
For me, it's all about the size. You know what I mean? Because with me, a lot of the times, mostly the species that are like the larger and the larger species are usually the female. And I mean, and as I said, in the size of the head as well. And I mean, and that's just from reading up online and everything to see that's what they said is just to look for is the larger head and the bigger body. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I go by the body too.
Yeah, and I don't do the flip over and check either. So yeah, because usually if it's that big, I don't want to flap. You have to hold on to it without it smacking you in the head or whatever. So.
100%. And
yeah.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
As I say, based on the technique you guys are fishing, like that's a very famous technique for a lot of bottom dwellers, like sturgeon. I don't know, do you guys accidentally catch sturgeon as well in the Thames, or is there any there?
That I don't know. That I don't know at all. No.
So no incidental catches at the catfishing event of sturgeon.
No.
I'd like to say that they are in that body of water simply because I know they're in Lake St. Clair and the Thames flows in to St. Clair.
Really, yeah.
It's quite possible that they are, Dan. But really, like at the end of the day, you're fishing for them almost very similar to that of how you would fish for sturgeon. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting. You watch. Knock on wood, they're going to catch one this weekend just because
You'll
you
know,
guys.
you got one too. We've caught them by
My
mistake.
husband has actually caught a sturgeon while we were fishing the St. Clair River.
There you go. Right
Yeah.
on.
Trying to go for catfish, but
So
Yeah.
now, if you're just someone that is showing up to one of these events, is there a list of things that you tell them to bring, or is there anything special that you might want to mention to a few that are watching that are coming this weekend that they need to bring?
Yeah, like what's happened is that we've had a like with all of our events, we actually set up a Facebook chat with each event, and on that event, the ladies that are probably on there are probably getting incredibly frustrated because I'm typing something new every day. So and I mean and I get closer to the event, the more things that you'll see on there. Yeah, and we always make it open to if there's any questions or anything, that's the place to ask it. And then that way it's just go back and read it over and just because a lot of times the ladies get really really excited, and then especially like right now, because right now is when, like, within the next 24 hours is when, okay, just make sure you bring this and I'll repost the list more than once. I'll do it again tomorrow, and then that way is that just to be for sure. And I mean, as I said, and if what I do always is, because right now in my driveway I have a U-Haul trailer, and that U-Haul trailer is full of stuff. So I mean, if what Ali was saying as well is we also, some of our gear that we do use is actually carp gear as well. So we've got rod pods that are there. We got carp cradles. Because the reason for that is we want to make sure that fish is handled with all the respect that's there and put back in the water, because we do this for the purpose of catch and release. So we got alarms that way if the ladies are laughing and everything, the alarm goes off if there's a fish on. So all that type of stuff. But yeah, we try our best to keep the ladies informed, and just as I said, there's always going to be a new question, and that's okay. We'll do our best to, because as I said, Allie's on there, Tia's on there, and the other ladies will also answer questions too if one of us don't get back to it soon enough.
This is obviously in a park. Is there any special permit that you guys have to apply for to hold this event?
No, this is actually a public area. Okay. And I mean, and so what it was is that, that was our third years, and the M&R has come every year when we're there, and we make sure that we, they laugh at us because we go running with our licenses. And I guess that's not common for those of the male species to do that, but us females just like to, and so we take pictures with the M&R guy and things as such. So I mean, they've always been there, and that's really good support for us there too, because it is a very public area. And I'll be honest, we've had some individuals that have had some pretty nasty words with us being there, and also and Alicia is the power queen. Just let you know, because we did have one incident where we had a couple that were not happy that we were there, and not happy that we were doing catch and release. So what they did is they just walked right into our group, right in the middle, and just went to cast their lines out right in the section that we had all set up for the OWA ladies. So Alicia just said, "I got this," and just let her go. And then they just were gently led to a new location. So yeah, so
I can honestly say I never thought to be confronted with the ability to ask a question like this, simply because we don't necessarily want to touch on the negative, but this is a great opportunity. I mean, ladies, we talked about it, you and I, at great lengths, how it was different for you two to enter into the angling community as females, and groups like GCFA, OWA have done a fantastic job to create that welcome mat, if you will, and take away sort of the apprehension that ladies might have that either maybe are great at fishing or don't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that there is still stuff like this going on, whether it be female directed or just, why were they upset because of catch and release?
I have no idea, because I don't know whether or not it was like they were a couple that had been there, but from what I heard of the conversation, they had been there many times before. And I think that was the biggest thing. And I still remember this many years ago when I was a child, especially when you got people that are coming in from a different area, like, we're not familiar faces. So, I mean, and so automatically, people take ownership, and I mean, to their local areas. And I mean, and I know that. I'm from Norwich, Ontario. The Norwich Dam was my carp haven. Like nobody go on my spot. Like I mean, and that's the type thing is, and I think that's the big thing is with OWA, especially is we're there. Our main goal is to educate, right? And we want to make everybody feel accepted and not feel that threat at all. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and that's what we try our best to do is a lot of times what we need to do is we need to educate the person that's having the problem. Is just let them know, okay, this is why we're here. We're not here to take over the world. And I mean, and we're not boldly going and taking every catfish that there is, and you're never not going to have the opportunity again. It's just a matter of communicating in a way that, it's not a competitive thing. It's, as I said, it's for the purpose of enjoyment and education for sure. So, yeah. And all the ladies that are on the team with Ali and I are great at it. Like we have a fun time. We got nobody that's there that's going to, we can handle ourselves. We've been through it. I mean, as I said, I'm 64 and I've heard a lot. So I mean, there's not many surprises left. I hope and pray. So, yeah. So,
God bless you.
So
I know Dan's
and it's
chomping.
guys like you, Scottie, because I mean, we know that we got guys there that got our back. And I mean, and that's the big thing is because there may be one person there out of 25 that you want to send them home and just go to your room and just stay there for the rest of your life because you're a very bad boy today. But you've got another 99 that are there and that have your back, and those are the ones that we want to focus on, not that one. That one.
Well, we love you, Kat, and we've always got your back. But I know Dan is he's chomping at the bit to jump in here, so I'll let him take it away. Go ahead, Dan.
As soon as he makes the comments about someone trying to infringe your zone, like that's my spot.
I knew it. I knew it.
Made me, immediately, I'm like, there's nothing more entertaining for someone from the north like that is for myself. Is we're about to get a whole bunch of videos from Southern Ontario of people getting into arguments fishing on streams and rivers in Southern Ontario. So I'm hoping I'm not going to see you guys in any of those videos.
Wow.
We'll make one for you this weekend.
Yeah, we look at some, and I know we're going back. Like Scottie knows the most famous one is with Rocky Manson and stuff like that. We go back, but we see so many of those over the years, and it's quite the fish when you think about it. It's really elbows up, I guess you'd say, to get in there. Combat.
Yeah, absolutely. Combat catfishing. Who would have known? And Kat, I mean, I thought I sort of, set the bar pretty high on making sure that, I addressed you in a nice, polite manner. But this gentleman here said that he would have guessed you maybe at 44.
Oh, man, you need to go get some glasses, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
We know who that is now, too, so we don't have to
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you very much. You made my day.
Alicia, obviously, in the bass tournament trail, there are female that participate, but I know you are one of, a few, and I don't know what the percentage is or how to break it down, but let's just say there's, a dozen of you ladies that are on the decks of these bass boats. That is a whole different world, but can you explain how that helped you, in situations like this that Kat just described to deal with that kind of crap?
Well, I'm not sure how it's helped me, other than maybe having a thicker skin. But overall, like Kat says, there's a lot of supportive people out there. There's the odd person that's not. And a lot of times, if they say anything, they're going to say it to you while you're alone and not with other people because they don't want to be seen as that kind of person, but they still want to make those comments. So most of the time, it's pretty good. I mean, usually I'm with my husband anyway, so
Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to say anything, he's going to hear. But there has been some people like maybe at fishing shows or that kind of thing when there's a lot of people around and they think that they could make a little side comment. But you just do your best to ignore them and like I said, have a thick skin and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, enough of the crap. Let's get past the negativity. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Speaking of fun stuff, and of course, we saw it with the intro video that we shared. And keep in mind, this is a family show. Are there any really cool stories that you two can share? Like, what was your biggest takeaway from last year's event? Go ahead, Alicia.
Oh, it was wet. It was raining a lot. We had the deepest puddles, like Tia's jumping in one right there. But the biggest takeaway is, even though it was pouring rain and it was even raining in like the tents we were in, there was a river going through the tent. So all of the girls, they all had great attitudes. They all still had tons of fun. They were, as soon as a catfish would bite, the girls would run out and start reeling it in. Like, nobody was hesitating at all. It was pretty awesome.
That's really well. Kat, you've been doing this for a number of years. You've got to have a few good stories. I could just tell by the smile. There's
I think for me, as I said, the biggest thing is as well is with the ladies that I work with, right? Is because I'm working with a team of ladies that are very, very different personality types, and see how we can all just like blend in together. Because it was rainy, and I didn't get much sleep the first night, and I'm going like no sleep. And I'm going, okay, and it was amazing to see how everybody just knew their part. And we were exhausted, all of us were, but we were all still laughing our head off. And as I said, and the food, like Tia is one of our ladies, and Tia is makes the most amazing breakfast on the grill. And the same thing is, it was just a matter of just, seeing the camaraderie that was there and all the laughter, because the ladies were not noticing it was pouring rain and they were soaking wet. They were just noticing all the funny things that were there. And it was so great to have Tia and Alicia and Tia's mom, Susie, just do some funny things that just kept everybody's mind off of the fact that it was pouring rain. And that was really, really good time to hear. And that it gets better every year.
That's awesome.
Sure.
I have to ask, so obviously you saw the tarp or tent, as you mentioned, during the day, and then do you sleep in the same area? Like, you have tents set up in the same area?
Last year, what we did is we actually just had a cargo, like a Thule type of trailer that was behind. So there was 3 of us that slept in the trailer, and that is why I got no sleep. So it's going to be different this year, and where it's one of the ladies have actually offered they're going to be bringing in their house trailer. And the other thing is that's going to happen this year too, and I felt so bad with one of our ladies, and this was a funny event too, is I got one of those pop-up toilets, those things that you put the little porta potty in. Well, when it's that rainy and windy, you better make sure your porta potty's really tied, really, really tight to the tree. And especially when you're sitting in there on that little toilet. So we won't go any further than that. So what I did this year is I made sure that I got in contact with the company, and they're going to be bringing in a portable toilet, one that has a flush and one that has lights on it, so you're not falling in the hole, and ones that we can wash our hands. And it worked out really well because they have a key and everything for it, and it's just to keep it clean, because that spot that we're going to we're also going to be picking up, like for the there's a lot of garbage, so I brought all the stuff as well for the ladies to pick up all the garbage around the area too. So things like that.
Well, you completely redeemed yourself after the porta potty thing, because I was about and the rest of the hour is yours, dude. I didn't even
It was funny. I'm glad it was not me.
I can't. Yeah. Do we even mention who it was, or
no?
I don't. So I have
it's
to.
Their
work
story.
It's their story, and I have to work with her this weekend. So
lips are sealed.
Yeah.
But Dan, please, you got the rest of the hour. It's all yours.
Oh, no problem. Here we go. So you said this is your third year doing this. So are you seeing a bigger amount of people showing interest in this? I noticed on your flyer it was 15 people or 15 spots. What's the reasoning behind that, or is it just the geographical limits is what you have, or?
Yeah, what's happening right now is because OWA, especially since COVID and everything, we've had quite the increase every year of members. And what's happening is that we got quite a few new members that are actually they're in the southeastern Ontario, but they're also in the southwest. And so what happens is that's why I'm doing, the ladies I'm working with are focusing on like some of our events on the southwest, just so the ladies don't have so far to travel. one of the biggest things that we discovered with every event and any, the number of years that I did events, I was an executive director for a nonprofit for a number of years, and it takes usually a couple years. Usually your first year, you'll sort of find out, all the glitches that you need to change. And so what's been happening is it's been a continual type of growth. And what really helps us too is Facebook. Because when ladies are seeing those fish on there, and when they're seeing all the big smiles and everything that are there, and also too with us being able to go to the different shows that are out there, like CanCast and the one that was here in Kitchener and all of that, and they can see the excitement in our voice, and that has been something that has actually really, really helped to increase the population. And also we open it up to non-members as well. Like some of our events are, because people just want to check us out, just like any other organization. They want to know who we are and things as such before. We don't want to push membership, because as I said, it's not the membership that's priority with OWA. It's having people that are coming in that are at the point where they really want to learn about it, and they really want to move forward with good mentorship. And that's where we're going with that. But yeah, that's where we're at.
That is so cool.
Hopefully next year, as I said, I'd like to see about changing locations, but I mean, why move when you're in a perfect spot, right? So why move?
100%.
It's all about everybody having a good time. If everybody likes going to that spot, why change it? And,
yeah.
But that being said, you're talking about having southeastern and southwestern Ontario. Do you have other venue or other tournaments happening on either side for those groups of people, or is this the only event that you guys host?
No, like we've got, like, I can't remember the exact number. Alicia, if you can help me with that, because I don't have the flyer right in front of my face. But if you go onto the OWA site, Ontario Anglers website, you'll see all of our different events, and I think there's over 14 or that are actually there, and they are in southwestern, southeastern. What we do is we are Ontario women anglers, so we don't go by zone. We're as a group as a whole, and that was the whole thing is that we're just wanting to, like, we've got ladies that are coming down to this event that are all the way up from up Bob Cajun area, Peterborough area, and that type stuff. Just like with me, as I said, if I want to go to some of the events, I'm driving 4.5, 5 hours. If I want to go fishing and I want to spend time with the ladies, I'll drive. You know what I mean? But as I said, but not all of us have the same passion area, and not all of us have the ability transportation wise. So that's why we want to get it where we can, come to them. And that's why we've got an event coming up. We have one in Waterford and another one hopefully one in Turkey Point, that type thing, just to get the members here more familiar. Because once they get in there with one group, like the same as with catfish as it is with carp or any big fish, you catch one once and you're hooked. And then that way we know that you're gonna, you'll come to more events because you get pretty excited about it.
And if I'm not mistaken, outside of the hard water, this is the first open water event that you have, correct? Or I do believe you have a pumpkin seed derby as well. Do you not?
Yeah, and that's actually coming up in the weeks to follow. And then we've got we got pumpkin seed, and then we've got one that's for trout, and that one's actually that one's booked. It's booked every year. There's a waiting list for that every year.
And this is the part that I love, Danny, is, these women aren't driven necessarily by events, but they're multi-species events. So, in a lot of cases, they'll be out targeting pumpkin seed, in this case, catfish. Maybe it'll be a walleye event in the Bay of Quinte. But I love how you guys are able to combine your events to target certain species. And I know your Master Angler program is probably a good reason for that. But the fact that you have ladies that are being introduced to different species, how to target them, what the techniques are, what you need to buy, what you need to have. I have to say, your template on how you put this all together, 2 thumbs up. Very well done.
Well, and that's Yvonne. Yvonne and the administration team that is actually there that has set that up, and it's been continually changing. That's the whole thing is with OWA. It's not a solid template. It's something that's continually pliable. And it's always improvement and always change. Happens every day. So
here's a great opportunity. And Jeanette is a longtime CFNer, and she's a big advocate for OWA and GCFA. She's invited you. And this is how it all works. This is exactly how it all works. She's invited you to a property that she owns with her husband. And all I can say is you might catch a walleye or three.
Very nice.
That's one of the only fish I eat. I don't eat fish very much, but I do eat walleye. I'll eat walleye and pike. That's about it.
That's my bread and butter, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, Dan knows a thing or two about that.
Absolutely. And I'm also married to the top female angler of the year last year, so I've had to live through that all period of my life right now. So Mary lets me know that pretty often that she's
He wants to get out of the doghouse, ladies. You think he wants to get out of that room in the back that he's in right now?
I guarantee making those comments is pushing me right back into it. But, yeah, it's a good driving force. I love seeing, like, especially in our circuits that we do when we have husband and wife teams come up. Like my wife is my tournament partner, so we do all of our events together. So I really enjoy seeing that, especially seeing it grow. And like the tournament we're hosting, obviously we're recognizing top female anglers as well, and it's they have the ability. I grew up like that. My mom fished, and no different than my dad fishing, right?
100%. Now there is still time, ladies, to sign up for this event.
Yeah, and I mean there's no spots available on the Saturday, but there are still spots available for Sunday. Yeah.
And if they want to
Just
register,
a few spots.
Where would they go to register? Should they just reach out to you, or is there a phone number?
No, if they go onto the Ontario Women Anglers site, it would actually be listed right on there as well. Registration's open there. Yeah.
Okay. And the $45 per person, very reasonable. Obviously, that covers your food, whatever lodging, your bait, terminal tackle, this, that, and everything else. As we have mentioned, some of the things that folks, you're bringing for folks. Is there anything that you would love them to bring on top of what they might already? Because I would imagine it's more of a potluck type setup when it comes to
No,
the meals.
we actually, what we do is for this event, we actually supply the food. You know what I mean? And so what happens is we'll just go out. It's just a lot easier because the main goal of that event is for the ladies to fish. So we'll look after the cooking, and the ladies is just supposed to look after the watching the rods and waiting for that alarm to go off. But yeah, we look after that. And as far as what to bring, the big thing is, as you'll notice because of the rain, is just you do not need waders here for this event. It's just a matter of just to bring a rain suit if you've got one. Bring some rubber boots if there's a possibility of rain. The biggest thing is also sunscreen and a chair. You know what I mean? And also like we've got the water, we've got the Gatorade and all that type of stuff. So it's just a matter of bringing yourself, and also we will be providing Cottonelle toilet paper, not the Walmart brand. We will be providing Cottonelle, and I mean because we know what's important to us ladies.
Two ply or better, right? So.
Yeah, we look after all ends of things.
I got to admit, that's very impressive. Like, aside from the toilet paper, I mean, just the $45, you got all your fishing gear supplied for it. The knowledge is provided through you, and the meal. Like, that's fantastic. That's the way to go. That's a great job.
100%.
Yeah, and that's one of the things at OWA, like what we try to do as well, is to keep it so it's affordable. We don't want to have anybody at a minute saying, because we've got all age groups. I mean, we've got ladies that are in their 70s that are actually members as well. And I mean, and that's why we like to have different locations so that they're not having to drive as far. And I mean, and things as such. But yeah, we want to make it as affordable and pliable as possible for sure.
Obviously, one of the biggest stumbling blocks for everybody, it doesn't matter if you're a hunt and game club, if you're CFN, OFC, getting that youth involved. How are you guys sort of, getting over that hurdle? How are you navigating through that? Because as I said, it's something that we all talk about, get the next generation of anglers fishing. But, on top of that, you've got a double-edged sword. You've got new anglers, which are female anglers, which may not necessarily feel comfortable getting into fishing. Obviously, they have a great outlet with OWA and GCFA, but what are some of the things that you guys are doing to target the younger anglers?
I know for myself, the biggest thing is that it goes for that is because, I mean, for us, because of the insurance and everything that we have, We do not have insurance that is actually set up for children, for teens, and like for that type of thing. So you have to be 18 to be able to become a member. And I mean, and I may need to be corrected if it's 18 or 19, but I think it's 18. And I mean, and what we're ending up finding out is we've got members' daughters just biting at the bit to turn 18. And I mean, and word of mouth is a big thing, is because what we've ended up finding out is that you have one person come and they're excited about it, and the next thing you know, they're bringing more people. We have got one member that's she's a great angler, and I mean, and I remember the one year she came by herself, she had a great time, and the next year she brought 3 friends, right? So that's the way to do it. I mean, and she's in her 20s, and that's been like the biggest promoter for OWA. And also too, is it just a matter for us to get out there? As I said, we did a lot of chatting at the can cast and things as such, and I mean, yeah, because they just watch us as they're walking by. And we watch them as they're walking by our booth and going like, don't be afraid. Come on over and just talk. Doesn't matter, and then you find out that, they've always wanted to do it, but they don't have anybody to go with. Yep. And that's where you say, well, that's not going to happen here. There's lots of ladies that would love to have you join us. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Alicia, I mean, obviously you see it too on the bass tournament trail. You're a unicorn when it comes to bass tournament angling in terms of female anglers, but are you seeing sort of a path to the next generation of young girls becoming tournament anglers, or how's that working?
Oh, definitely. I have to say, Ontario Women Anglers is good at teaching the parents and mothers of these children so that they can go and then teach the younger generation. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely one way that they're doing it now. With myself, I am a boat captain for Junior Bassmasters. And that is a league of kids that are between 9 and 15, might be 14. We go out on Erie and St. Clair, and they just pair up children with the different boat captains. It doesn't have to be a parent. The parents don't have to have a boat. So it's great for the kids to go out for the day. We do a lot of lessons on the water. So we have breaks where we stop and we do teaching moments with the kids and run them through how they're supposed to be catching, how they can catch the fish, what techniques and stuff like that to use. So that's how I work at it anyways.
Awesome. Dan, I'll leave you with maybe one of the last questions.
I'm kind of running out of questions here, Scottie. Keep throwing me on the spot.
Well, is there anything, ladies, that you wanted to mention about the event this weekend, or anything in particular?
Well, as I said, we'd love to have some more. As I said, there is spots available on Sunday. And I mean, as I said, and just keep your eye open on Facebook as well as too, because we will be posting lots of pictures and everything of the event. And don't be, like I said, don't be afraid to get in touch with OWA if you got any questions at all. Then just Ontario Women Anglers site online and just go and check it out. And I mean, yeah, and it's we're excited about it. We always enjoy seeing new faces, and so see what you can do, and hope to meet you there.
Well, I will say to wrap things up, if you are interested in fishing for catfish, and maybe you've done it before, maybe you haven't. If you like stinky bait, if you like 3-ply toilet paper, if you like great food and a lot of fun, these are the ladies you definitely want to hang out with. They've made my face red many, many times. So I invite you to step up to the plate and allow your face to be the same shade as mine. But I will say this, I can't thank you two enough for stepping in as you did. We did have a cancellation tonight, and you did a fantastic job, both of you, as you always do in the limelight. So a big shout out, thank you to both of you for stepping up tonight, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good luck.
Right on. We will see you next Wednesday, Dan.
Absolutely, buddy.
Right on. Next Wednesday, right here at CFN. It is the Power Hour again. Thanks so much, Kat and Alicia, for joining us tonight, and I hope you guys have a successful event this weekend.
Thank you.
On that note,
Thank you.
Good night, gentlemen.
all the best.